What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of a horror comedy called Uncle Peckerhead. Yeah, and it's actually pretty good. So let's dive into it. So Uncle Peckerhead just came out on VOD, and I've been seeing some advertisements for it. I watched the trailer kind of quickly and decided that I would pop this in and rent it for today. And boy, was I glad that I did. Now, Uncle Peckerhead is about a touring punk band that's just got their first tour. They've quit their jobs. They've decided to hit the road for this 7-day tour, technically 6 unless you count the one in their town that they're hoping for. And they lose out on their van and decide to hire a guy to drive them around to all these destinations. And there's just one problem. He's a fucking demon. Now, this movie is directed by Matthew John Lawrence, who has done a lot of shorts. This is actually, I believe, one of his first feature films. And he had a short previous to this called Larry Gone Demon, which was very similar to this and probably is what got them to make the feature film. Now, I've never seen a movie about a touring punk band that decides to hire a fucking demon roadie who eats people and somehow decides to befriend them. So I thought this was a really great concept, and I really thought it was a really funny movie. It's not one of those movies that decides to go balls to the wall fast with all the jokes where they just fire them at you so quick. Sometimes that can be just a little dulling of the senses and the comedic timing and everything like that. Like, and if I wanted to make a comparison to the comedy here, like, it's like Portlandia if Portlandia was gory as fuck. It's very dry sometimes, very tongue-in-cheek other times. There's a lot of different types of humor in this, but it's ultimately all really funny. Now, keep in mind, this movie is an independent film. It is a smaller budget film, and so it sort of has to create its own sort of comedic atmosphere and its own comedic world where it's not really realistic, but you soon catch on to the vibe, and it's a fun ride while you're there. And for an independent flick, this is done really well. They did a lot of really good shots. There was some scenes where, there was supposed to be a room full of people and stuff that, it didn't really feel like they were at a punk show. But, those are like minor things that really just don't really matter too much. But there's some really funny performances and things that are done by different characters in the movie, including one band that they keep running into on their tour. And that shit had me rolling. There is just so many moments where I was literally laughing out loud, and seeing that narcissistic band who thinks he's like so good, and that element in this movie was just, I totally related to that, and I just loved it. The way that they handled it was just perfect. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's great. It's also over-the-top acting, so it's very aware of itself in a lot of ways, but you kind of get swept up into this world that it creates. At times, I was laughing my ass off at just some of the most ridiculous, stupid shit, and other times I was like, kind of endeared by this character, Uncle Peckerhead. It's more than just some stupid horror comedy to me. Although I will say that by the end of the movie, most comedies sort of, die down with the vibe, so to speak, at the very end. And it wasn't that I hated the end or anything like that, but it always seems to do that with comedies. I think I was just a little dissatisfied with how it ended in some regards. You spend the whole movie kind of rooting for something, and then it changes. I don't know. It takes you out of the element that you enjoyed so much. So I feel like that could have been part of the reason why. And I'm, of course, shooting around in the dark here so that you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But for those who have seen this movie, maybe you will feel the same way. There was moments where they were kind of pointing out things that touring bands would only know. And I actually really loved that aspect of it. I've actually toured with my band Black Ops in the past, and there was some things in that really kind of ring true with me and I thought were really funny. Just some really funny shit in here. Like, they know what it's like to kind of tour, to deal deal with like other bands and to sort of be at the merch booth all the time and have to fucking deal with that shit. It's really kind of endearing. I really enjoyed it. And maybe it hits a little bit more with me because of the music element, which I thought the band in the movie was actually pretty good. The characters that play them when they first go live, I was really super excited. They like screech into the, the guitar, into the fucking, Sonic Youth style, into the speaker cabinet. They scream and it's like, I wanted to hear more of it. So I think this is a really good odd mix of a lot of stuff. And it's super gory. Like there's a lot of really gory elements in it. And the comedic timing that they have with this is also really good too. So it doesn't rush through and try to be something that's just like in your face funny all the time. It really takes its time to kind of enjoy the atmosphere and kind of the jokey world that they've created. And I really liked the character that played Peckerhead, and I really liked all of the characters in the band. By the end of the movie, I was like rooting for all of them. It's kind of a weird thing to see in a comedy horror movie, to be honest. So I think you guys will too. And I would give this movie a solid 8, maybe even an 8.5. It's definitely one of the better films this year as far as horror comedies go, and even films in general. Like, I really enjoyed it. The only other comedy I can think of right now is Scare Package and this, and both of them were really funny to me. So if you get a chance, you can rent it right now on all the VOD sites that you can. We rented it on Amazon, I think, for like $6. I think it's worth every penny. What did you guys think, though? Did you see this movie? Did you get charmed by its characters and its writing and jokes? Did you enjoy Peckerhead himself in the movie? I would love to hear what you guys thought of this film, if you're enticed to go see it, and what your thoughts are about it. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and spending time with me, and as always, long live the void.